Let me start by stating a truth that may feel harsh, but liberating at the same time. Nobody cares about you. At first, this might sound negative or even cynical, but think about it. How often do we get trapped in overthinking, worrying about others' opinions, and limiting ourselves because of the fear of judgment? The truth is, people are far more preoccupied with their own lives to spend significant energy scrutinizing yours. Instead of dwelling on this as a negative, let's embrace it as a freedom call. When you realize that nobody's paying as much attention as you think, you can break free from the shackles of self-doubt and external validation. You can truly start living authentically, pursuing your dreams without the weight of imagined criticism. The realization that people are more focused on themselves than they are on you is incredibly liberating. It's a truth that, while initially unsettling, can unlock a profound sense of freedom when fully embraced. Most of us walk through life under the weight of imagined scrutiny, worrying about what others might think if we fail, falter, or make an unconventional choice. This fear often paralyzes us, keeping us from taking risks, expressing our true selves, or pursuing dreams that might not align with societal norms or others' expectations. But here's the reality: people are far too preoccupied with their own lives to dedicate much time to analyzing yours. Their thoughts, like yours, are often consumed by their personal struggles, ambitions, insecurities, and day-to-day responsibilities. Even when someone notices you, their attention is fleeting. They move on quickly, distracted by their own priorities. Recognizing this truth should not be disheartening, it should be empowering. It means that the harsh spotlight you think is on you is often a product of your imagination. Think about a time you made a mistake in public, stumbled over your words, or wore something that wasn't quite right. You may have spent hours replaying the moment in your mind, worrying about how others perceived you. But ask yourself, how often do you remember similar moments about others? The answer is likely rarely, if ever. Most of us barely register the details of someone else's slip-ups because we're too busy worrying about our own. This universal tendency to focus inward means that the pressure we feel from others is largely self-imposed. Once you understand that most people are not paying nearly as much attention to you as you think, a massive weight is lifted. You're free to step outside your comfort zone and try things you've always wanted to do. You can make bold decisions, learn new skills, and chase your passions without being held back by the fear of judgment. It's not that people are indifferent to you as a person, it's just that their lives are too full for your every move to be their focus. This understanding gives you permission to be human, to experiment, to fail, and to grow without the constant fear of being watched or criticized. What's more, this awareness fosters resilience. When you stop worrying about what others might think, you start relying on your own opinion as the most important one. You begin to prioritize your internal compass over external validation. This shift is critical because your life is yours alone to live. You are the one who will feel the consequences of your actions or inactions, not the people you're worried about impressing. By letting go of the illusion that others are constantly monitoring your life, you regain the mental energy to focus on what truly matters to you. Ultimately, this realization creates space for authenticity. You can stop pretending to be something you're not in order to win approval or avoid criticism. Instead, you can embrace your true self, live on your terms, and pursue your goals unapologetically. Recognizing that people aren't as focused on you as you might think is not about dismissing their importance or devaluing human connection. It's about understanding the natural limits of other people's attention and using that knowledge to empower yourself. When you no longer feel trapped by the fear of judgment, you can move through life with greater confidence, creativity, and joy. Self-reliance is one of the most empowering lessons that comes from understanding the concept that nobody cares about you as much as you care about yourself. It's a call to action, a reminder that your life is your responsibility and that waiting for others to take an interest or invest in your journey is not only futile but also a disservice to your own potential. This understanding doesn't mean that people around you don't care about you at all. Rather, it highlights that their level of care will never match the depth of investment and effort you must have in your own life. Too often, people fall into the trap of expecting external validation or support as a prerequisite for their efforts. We want others to cheer us on, believe in our dreams, or even offer a helping hand. And while support from friends, family, or mentors is undoubtedly valuable, it is not guaranteed, nor is it sustainable as the sole motivator for your actions. People have their own lives to manage, and their energy to devote to your ambitions will always be limited. This is why self-reliance becomes crucial. It allows you to take charge of your goals without being overly dependent on others' encouragement or approval. Relying on yourself doesn't mean shutting out the world or refusing help when it's offered. It means taking ownership of your life's direction and ensuring that your efforts are driven by your internal compass, not the expectations or involvement of others. You are the only person who knows the full depth of your desires, dreams, and struggles. No one else can feel the urgency of your goals the way you do, nor can they fully understand the sacrifices and risks you're willing to take to achieve them. This realization should propel you to act independently, driven by your unique vision. When you stop expecting others to care as much as you do, you free yourself from unnecessary disappointment. It's easy to feel let down when people don't show the enthusiasm or interest you'd hoped for in your endeavors. But this disappointment stems from unrealistic expectations. By focusing on self-reliance, you can channel that energy into building the discipline, resilience, and determination required to achieve your goals. Instead of waiting for external support, you create a system of internal motivation that keeps you moving forward, regardless of whether anyone else is watching or applauding. This perspective also empowers you to take initiative. If you don't believe anyone else is going to solve your problems or create opportunities for you, you'll be more inclined to take matters into your own hands. You'll look for solutions instead of waiting for them, and you'll create opportunities instead of hoping they appear. This proactive mindset can be transformative, enabling you to navigate challenges with a sense of control and purpose. Self-reliance doesn't mean isolation, it means strength. It means recognizing that while others may care about you, their care will never be a substitute for your own effort. It's about understanding that your dreams are your responsibility to pursue and that your challenges are yours to overcome. This mindset is not selfish, it's empowering. It allows you to seek help or collaborate from a position of strength, knowing that your progress ultimately depends on your own actions and choices. Ultimately, embracing self-reliance means becoming the architect of your own life. You stop looking to others to validate your path or pick you up when you fall, and instead, you develop the tools and resilience to move forward on your own terms. This realization isn't about rejecting support, but about understanding that the foundation of your success lies within you. When you stop expecting others to care more than they naturally can, you unlock the freedom to build the life you want with confidence, courage, and self-determination. Prioritizing your own goals is an essential lesson drawn from the realization that nobody cares about your life as much as you do. In a world filled with distractions, societal expectations, and countless opinions, it's easy to let your focus drift toward what others deem important. You might find yourself pursuing goals that align with societal norms or trying to meet expectations set by family, friends, or peers. While it's natural to care about the opinions of those around you, allowing external factors to dictate your priorities can leave you feeling unfulfilled and disconnected from your true purpose. When you understand that people are more invested in their own lives than in yours, you begin to see the futility of living to please others. Most people don't spend their time evaluating whether you are succeeding or failing. They're too busy navigating their own challenges and ambitions. This insight is a wake-up call to focus your energy on what truly matters to you, rather than what you think might impress or satisfy others. The time and effort you invest in pursuing goals that aren't authentically yours could be better spent on things that bring you genuine joy and fulfillment. Prioritizing your own goals means getting clear about what you want from life. It requires introspection and honesty. What are the dreams that excite you? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? What values guide your decisions? These are deeply personal questions, and the answers won't look the same for everyone. However, they are critical in defining a life that feels meaningful to you. When you prioritize these goals, you align your actions with your authentic self, rather than living on autopilot or chasing achievements that have no real significance to you. This shift in focus also demands courage. Pursuing your own goals often involves going against the grain or taking paths that others might not understand. You may encounter skepticism, criticism, or even resistance from people who have their own ideas about what success looks like. In these moments, it's important to remember that their opinions are not the driving force behind your life. You are the one who will live with the consequences of your choices, so it only makes sense that your goals should reflect your desires, not theirs. Prioritizing your goals also requires setting boundaries. There will always be demands on your time and energy, and not all of them will align with what you truly want to achieve. Learning to say no to distractions, obligations, or activities that don't serve your purpose is essential. This doesn't mean being selfish or dismissive of others, but it does mean being selective about how you allocate your resources. When you put your goals first, you can approach your responsibilities with clarity and intention, ensuring that you are moving closer to the life you envision. Another benefit of prioritizing your own goals is that it fosters a sense of personal accountability. When you stop waiting for others to guide or validate your choices, you take ownership of your path. This mindset empowers you to make decisions based on what feels right for you, even if it means stepping into the unknown. You become less dependent on external approval and more focused on the progress and satisfaction that come from staying true to yourself. This perspective also builds resilience. When your goals are deeply personal, you're more likely to persevere through challenges and setbacks. You're not working to meet someone else's standards, you're pursuing something that has intrinsic meaning to you. This internal motivation becomes a powerful driving force, helping you stay committed even when the journey gets tough. Ultimately, prioritizing your own goals is about living with intention. It's about recognizing that your time, energy, and potential are finite and choosing to use them in ways that reflect your deepest values and aspirations. When you make this shift, you free yourself from the pressure to conform to external expectations and embrace a life that is uniquely yours. This not only leads to greater fulfillment, but also inspires others to pursue their own paths authentically. In focusing on what truly matters to you, you set the stage for a life of purpose, passion, and self-determined success. The anxiety we feel about how others perceive us is often disproportionate to reality. Most of the time, the fear of judgment comes from our own minds, not from what's actually happening around us. This is a deeply ingrained human tendency. We overestimate how much attention others are paying to us, how harshly they might judge us, and how long they will remember our mistakes or shortcomings. This phenomenon, known as the spotlight effect, can create unnecessary stress and prevent us from fully embracing opportunities, taking risks, or being authentic in our actions. Imagine walking into a room and tripping slightly. For many of us, that moment feels monumental. Our cheeks flush, our minds race with the thought that everyone must have noticed and will remember it for days. But in reality, most people either didn't notice or forgot about it within seconds. They were likely preoccupied with their own concerns, conversations, or distractions. This disparity between how much we think others notice and how much they actually do is a powerful reminder that our perceptions of others' judgment are often overblown. This tendency to inflate others' attention extends beyond small mishaps. It affects how we approach significant life decisions, such as pursuing a new career, speaking up in a meeting, or sharing a creative idea. But fear of being judged as unqualified, foolish, or naive can stop us from acting altogether. However, the truth is that most people don't spend their time scrutinizing our choices. They are too focused on their own challenges, goals, and insecurities to devote much energy to analyzing our actions. Even when people do notice, their attention is often fleeting, and their opinions, positive or negative, are rarely as significant as we imagine. Understanding this can be liberating. It helps us put the fear of judgment into perspective, freeing us to act boldly and authentically. When you realize that people are not analyzing your every move, you can take risks with far less hesitation. You can start that business, express your opinions, or make unconventional choices without the heavy burden of imagined criticism holding you back. Instead of allowing fear to dictate your actions, you can focus on what matters to you and take steps toward your goals with greater confidence. This shift in perspective also encourages self-compassion. Often we are our own harshest critics, and we project our self-judgment onto others, assuming they must see us the same way. But in reality, people are far more forgiving or indifferent than we give them credit for. Recognizing this allows us to extend the same forgiveness and understanding to ourselves that we might offer to a friend. It reminds us that making mistakes or facing setbacks is a natural part of being human, and that these moments do not define us in the eyes of others nearly as much as they do in our own. Another important insight is that worrying excessively about others' opinions can prevent us from connecting with them meaningfully. When we are too focused on how we are perceived, we may come across as guarded, inauthentic, or overly concerned with appearances. Ironically, this fear of judgment can create a barrier that prevents genuine interaction and connection. By letting go of the exaggerated belief that everyone is watching, we can be more present, approachable, and engaged in our relationships. This doesn't mean that others' opinions are entirely irrelevant. Feedback, support, and collaboration are important, especially when they come from trusted individuals. But understanding that perception is often overblown allows us to distinguish between constructive feedback and unnecessary concern over fleeting judgments. It helps us prioritize whose opinions matter and whose don't, enabling us to focus on building meaningful connections and achieving personal growth. Ultimately, the realization that people's perceptions are not as intense or enduring as we think gives us the courage to live more authentically. It frees us from the paralysis of overthinking and allows us to pursue what truly matters to us. We stop wasting energy trying to control how others see us and start investing it in becoming the best version of ourselves. By embracing this mindset, we step out of the imagined spotlight and into a life driven by purpose, passion, and self-confidence. Being the hero of your story is about taking full responsibility for your life and recognizing that no one else is going to live it for you. It's about stepping into a mindset where you see yourself as the protagonist, the decision maker, and the one ultimately accountable for your happiness and success. This concept is not about dismissing the value of community or the help of others, but about understanding that the most consistent and reliable force in your life is you. Many people fall into the trap of waiting for someone to come and rescue them, whether it's a mentor, a partner, or even a stroke of luck. They hope that external circumstances or the intervention of others will magically transform their situations, provide clarity, or make their problems go away. While support and guidance can be helpful, the truth is that no one is as invested in your story as you are. No one else feels the urgency of your dreams, the depth of your struggles, or the weight of your responsibilities the way you do. Realizing this is a turning point because it puts the power back into your hands. When you embrace the idea that you are the hero of your story, you stop waiting for others to take action on your behalf. Instead, you become proactive, taking steps to create the outcomes you desire. Whether it's pursuing a career goal, overcoming a personal challenge, or building the life you want, you start to see yourself as the driver of change rather than a passive participant. This shift is empowering because it reminds you that while you can't control everything, you can control your efforts, attitudes, and decisions. Taking ownership of your story also means acknowledging that setbacks and failures are part of the journey. Heroes in every story face obstacles. Those moments of struggle are what define their growth and resilience. When you see yourself as the hero, you stop viewing challenges as insurmountable barriers and start seeing them as opportunities to learn, adapt, and strengthen yourself. This perspective encourages you to face adversity with courage and determination, knowing that each hurdle is a step closer to achieving your goals. Another critical aspect of being the hero of your story is understanding that you have the power to rewrite the narrative at any time. If you find yourself in a situation that feels unfulfilling or misaligned with your values, you don't have to stay stuck. Just like the hero in a story who takes a bold leap to change their circumstances, you have the agency to make different choices, explore new paths, and redefine your purpose. This ability to pivot and evolve is one of the most empowering aspects of embracing your role as the hero. Being the hero doesn't mean doing everything alone. Heroes often have allies, mentors, and supporters who help them along the way. However, the key difference is that they don't rely entirely on others to move forward. They seek guidance and collaboration, but they remain the central force driving their progress. This balance of self-reliance and openness to support allows them to grow without becoming dependent. Taking on the role of the hero also involves letting go of blame. It's easy to point fingers at circumstances, other people, or bad luck when things don't go as planned. But heroes don't waste time dwelling on what's outside their control. Instead, they focus on what they can do to navigate the situation and take the next step. This mindset not only builds resilience, but also fosters a sense of empowerment and accountability that propels them forward. Valuing selective opinions is an essential skill in navigating life with confidence and clarity. In a world filled with endless voices, judgments, and unsolicited advice, it's easy to become overwhelmed or swayed by the perspectives of others. The truth is, not all opinions carry the same weight, nor should they. While everyone is entitled to their viewpoint, not every opinion is relevant, informed, or beneficial to your unique journey. Learning to identify which voices matter and which don't is a crucial part of protecting your mental and emotional well-being while staying aligned with your goals. Many people fall into the trap of giving equal importance to all feedback, whether it comes from trusted mentors or distant acquaintances. This often leads to confusion, self-doubt, and hesitation. The reality is, most people form opinions based on their own experiences, biases, and limited understanding of your circumstances. What works for someone else may not work for you, and what someone perceives as a mistake might actually be a bold, necessary step in your personal growth. Recognizing this allows you to filter the noise and focus on advice that genuinely adds value to your life. Valuing selective opinions begins with understanding whose perspectives align with your values and goals. Trusted individuals, those who truly understand your aspirations, challenges, and character, are more likely to provide insightful feedback that resonates. These might be mentors, close friends, or family members who have your best interests at heart. Their opinions are often rooted in a deep understanding of who you are and where you want to go, making their input more constructive and actionable. On the other hand, it's important to recognize that some opinions come from a place of misunderstanding, negativity, or even projection. People who don't fully understand your goals may offer advice that is irrelevant or counterproductive. Others might project their fears or insecurities onto you, discouraging you from taking risks or pursuing paths they wouldn't choose for themselves. These opinions, while often well-meaning, can create unnecessary doubt if you don't learn to separate them from the ones that truly matter. To value selective opinions effectively, you must develop self-awareness and confidence. This means being clear about your goals, values, and priorities so that you can assess whether a piece of advice aligns with your vision. It also means trusting your instincts and understanding that ultimately you are the one living your life. Even the most well-intentioned advice might not feel right for you, and that's okay. Part of growing is learning to trust your ability to make decisions that reflect your unique path. Another critical aspect is understanding the context of an opinion. Feedback can be useful in specific areas where someone has expertise or experience, but that doesn't make them an authority on every aspect of your life. For example, a mentor might provide excellent career advice, but have little insight into your personal relationships. Knowing when and where to apply someone's perspective ensures that you benefit from their wisdom without overextending its relevance. Selective evaluation of opinions also requires the ability to handle criticism gracefully. Not all feedback will be positive, and not all negative feedback will be valid. Learning to evaluate criticism without taking it personally is a skill that builds resilience and emotional intelligence. Ask yourself, is this criticism coming from someone whose opinion I respect? Is it constructive, or is it simply an expression of their own biases or frustrations? By asking these questions, you can discern whether the feedback is worth considering or simply something to acknowledge and move past. The process of valuing selective opinions is not about dismissing others entirely. It's about being intentional in how you listen and apply feedback. It's about creating a balance between being open to growth and staying true to yourself. This mindset allows you to build relationships based on mutual respect while maintaining control over your own decisions. Ultimately, valuing selective opinions empowers you to move through life with greater clarity and confidence. You learn to focus on what truly matters, free from the burden of trying to please everyone or conform to conflicting expectations. By prioritizing the voices that genuinely support and guide you, you create space to grow authentically and pursue your goals with unwavering purpose. This balance ensures that you remain receptive to wisdom while staying firmly grounded in your own truth. Focusing on personal growth is one of the most fulfilling and transformative paths you can choose, especially when you realize that the world is not fixated on your every move. This understanding shifts your perspective from seeking external validation to investing in yourself and becoming the best version of who you are. Personal growth is not about proving anything to others. It's about evolving, learning, and improving in ways that matter deeply to you. It's a journey of self-discovery and continuous development that brings fulfillment, confidence, and resilience. When you stop worrying about what others think You create the mental and emotional space needed to focus on your own progress. Many people hold themselves back because they are afraid of failure or judgment. They avoid trying new things, taking risks, or stepping outside their comfort zones for fear of what others might say. But the truth is, most people are too consumed by their own lives to pay close attention to yours. This realization is liberating because it allows you to make decisions based on your personal aspirations rather than external perceptions. Focusing on personal growth requires a commitment to self-awareness. It begins with understanding who you are, what you value, and what areas of your life you want to improve. Self-awareness helps you identify your strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities for growth, giving you a clear foundation to build upon. This clarity is crucial because it ensures that your efforts are intentional and aligned with what truly matters to you. Without this focus, it's easy to get distracted by superficial goals or societal expectations that don't resonate with your authentic self. Growth often involves stepping into uncomfortable territory. It means embracing challenges, seeking new experiences, and facing fears that might have held you back in the past. This process is not always easy, but it is incredibly rewarding. Each step outside your comfort zone strengthens your confidence, builds resilience, and expands your capabilities. Over time, you realize that the fear of failure or judgment pales in comparison to the satisfaction of pushing your limits and achieving something meaningful. One of the most powerful aspects of personal growth is its compounding effect. Small, consistent efforts to improve, whether through learning, practicing, or building better habits, lead to significant changes over time. Each improvement builds on the last, creating a momentum that propels you forward. This progress is deeply satisfying because it is rooted in your own actions and choices. You're not waiting for others to validate your worth or success, you're creating it for yourself, one step at a time. Another key component of personal growth is adaptability. Life is full of unexpected challenges and changes, and the ability to navigate them with grace and resilience is a hallmark of personal development. When you focus on growth, you cultivate a mindset that embraces change as an opportunity rather than a threat. You become more flexible, open to new ideas, and capable of finding solutions in the face of adversity. This adaptability not only enhances your ability to succeed, but also makes life more enriching and dynamic. Focusing on personal growth also fosters a sense of independence and self-reliance. While relationships and support systems are important, your growth is ultimately your responsibility. By investing in yourself, you build a strong foundation that allows you to thrive regardless of external circumstances. This independence doesn't mean isolating yourself, rather, it means developing the skills, knowledge, and confidence to navigate life on your terms. Personal growth is also deeply fulfilling because it allows you to contribute more meaningfully to the world around you. As you improve yourself, you become better equipped to support others, share your knowledge, and create positive change. Growth is not just about achieving personal goals, it's about becoming the kind of person who inspires and uplifts those around you. This ripple effect of self-improvement is one of the most rewarding aspects of the journey. Ultimately, focusing on personal growth is a lifelong commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. It's about recognizing that your worth is not determined by the opinions of others, but by your own efforts to learn, grow, and live authentically. When you prioritize growth, you take control of your life, pursue your passions with confidence, and face challenges with courage. This mindset allows you to create a life that is not only successful by external standards, but also deeply meaningful and satisfying on a personal level. Accepting responsibility for your life is one of the most transformative shifts you can make, and it's rooted in the understanding that no one else is going to live your life for you. It means acknowledging that your actions, decisions, and attitudes shape your reality, and taking ownership of them empowers you to create the life you want. This is not about blaming yourself for everything that happens, but rather recognizing that, regardless of circumstances, your response and effort are within your control. This mindset is a cornerstone of personal growth, resilience, and true fulfillment. Taking responsibility begins with rejecting a victim mentality. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming external factors, circumstances, other people, or bad luck for the challenges or dissatisfaction you face. While external forces do play a role in shaping your environment, dwelling on them leaves you feeling powerless and stuck. Accepting responsibility shifts the focus from what you cannot control to what you can. It reminds you that even in the face of difficulty, you have choices, the choice to adapt, to persevere, and to learn. This sense of ownership extends to both your successes and your failures. When you achieve something, taking responsibility means giving yourself credit for the hard work, determination, and decisions that led to that success. This builds confidence and reinforces the belief that you are capable of influencing your future. Conversely, when things go wrong, accepting responsibility means looking honestly at your role in the outcome. This isn't about self-criticism or dwelling on mistakes, but rather about learning from them and using those lessons to grow. Owning your life also means letting go of excuses. Excuses often serve as a way to avoid discomfort or accountability, but they ultimately hinder progress. For example, saying you didn't have time to work on a goal often reflects a failure to prioritize rather than a genuine lack of opportunity. By recognizing and addressing these patterns, you take back control. Instead of being limited by excuses, you start finding solutions, making adjustments, and taking action that aligns with your goals. Another crucial aspect of accepting responsibility is setting boundaries. This means understanding that you are not responsible for other people's feelings, choices, or outcomes. While empathy and support are important in relationships, you cannot control how others behave or respond. Accepting responsibility for your life involves distinguishing between what is within your power and what isn't, freeing you from the burden of trying to manage things beyond your control. This mindset also fosters resilience. Life is unpredictable and setbacks are inevitable, but when you take responsibility, you approach these challenges with a sense of agency. Instead of seeing yourself as at the mercy of external forces, you view obstacles as opportunities to adapt and grow. This resilience not only helps you overcome difficulties, but also strengthens your confidence in handling future challenges. Taking responsibility for your life also involves aligning your actions with your values. It's about making intentional choices that reflect what matters most to you rather than being swayed by societal expectations, fear of judgment, or short-term gratification. This alignment brings clarity and purpose, ensuring that the effort you invest leads to outcomes that are genuinely fulfilling. This perspective extends to relationships as well. Accepting responsibility means recognizing your role in the dynamics of your connections with others. Whether it's communicating openly, setting healthy boundaries, or resolving conflicts, taking ownership of your actions strengthens trust and understanding. It also allows you to address issues constructively rather than falling into patterns of blame or defensiveness. Ultimately, accepting responsibility for your life is a liberating act. It puts you in the driver's seat, giving you the power to shape your path and respond to challenges with intention and purpose. This doesn't mean everything will always go as planned, but it does mean that you have the tools and mindset to navigate whatever comes your way. By embracing this responsibility, you create a life that reflects your values, aspirations, and unique potential. It's a journey of empowerment, growth, and fulfillment that allows you to live authentically and with confidence. Building a meaningful legacy is about living a life that resonates far beyond your immediate existence. It is the process of creating something enduring, whether through the impact you have on others, the values you uphold, or the contributions you make to the world. A legacy is not about wealth or fame. It is about the imprint you leave on the lives you touch and the communities you influence. Understanding this shifts your focus from transient concerns, like external validation, to the deeper question of what truly matters and how your actions align with those priorities. But legacy begins with intention. Living intentionally means making choices that reflect your core values and long-term aspirations rather than being driven by fleeting desires or external pressures. It requires self-awareness and a willingness to ask yourself profound questions. What do I want to stand for? How do I want to be remembered? What contributions can I make that will have lasting significance? These reflections guide you toward a life of purpose where your daily actions contribute to a greater vision of the person you aspire to be. Creating a legacy involves focusing on relationships. The connections you form with others often have the most enduring impact. Your kindness, empathy, and support can leave a profound mark on the lives of those around you. These relationships are not only a source of personal fulfillment, but also a way to inspire and uplift others. Whether it's through mentoring, being a source of encouragement, or simply showing up when it matters, your interactions can create a ripple effect that extends far beyond what you might ever see. Another cornerstone of building a legacy is contributing to something larger than yourself. This could mean championing a cause you care deeply about, innovating in your field, or creating something that enriches others' lives. Your contributions don't have to be monumental to be meaningful. Small acts of service, creativity, or generosity can accumulate over time, creating an enduring influence. What matters is the intent behind your efforts and the alignment with what you believe in. A legacy is also built through the lessons you impart. Sharing your knowledge, experiences, and insights can inspire and guide others long after you are gone. Teaching doesn't have to be formal. It can happen in conversation, storytelling, or by leading through example. The wisdom you pass on becomes a part of your legacy, shaping the perspectives and actions of those who learn from you. Living with integrity is central to creating a legacy. Integrity means staying true to your principles, even when it's difficult. It's about consistency in your actions, treating others with respect, and standing firm in your beliefs. This kind of authenticity resonates with people and leaves a lasting impression. A legacy rooted in integrity is not just about what you accomplish, but how you go about achieving it. Legacy also involves resilience and perseverance. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable, but how you navigate these moments defines much of what you leave behind. Facing adversity with courage and determination demonstrates a strength that inspires others. It shows that setbacks don't have to define you, that it's possible to grow and succeed despite obstacles. This resilience becomes a part of your story, a testament to the power of persistence and hope. In building a legacy, it's important to recognize that you don't have to wait for a future moment to start. Every day is an opportunity to contribute to it. The small choices you make, the people you help, and the principles you live by all add up. A legacy is not built in a single act, but in the cumulative impact of a life well lived. It is shaped by consistency, intention, and the willingness to act in ways that align with your values. Ultimately, creating a meaningful legacy is about making the world a little better because you were part of it. It's about inspiring others, leaving behind something positive, and living in a way that reflects the best of who you are. While the specifics of a legacy will vary from person to person, the common thread is a commitment to purpose, contribution, and connection. By focusing on what truly matters, you can create a legacy that endures, touching lives and inspiring change long after you're gone. Living for yourself is a profound concept that encourages you to step away from external expectations, societal pressures, and the influence of others, and instead focus on what truly brings you joy, purpose, and fulfillment. It means being honest with yourself about what you need and want, regardless of what others think or expect. When you live for yourself, you prioritize your own well-being and happiness, which is not selfish, but rather an essential act of self-respect. This kind of living is rooted in self-awareness, self-acceptance, and the courage to pursue your own path. For many people, living for themselves can feel like a radical departure from what they've been taught. From an early age, society often conditions us to seek approval, to conform to social norms, or to put the needs of others ahead of our own. While compassion and care for others are essential qualities, they shouldn't come at the cost of losing sight of who you are or what you want. Living for yourself means you take responsibility for your own happiness and well-being. It's about making choices that are aligned with your inner truth, even if those choices are unconventional or misunderstood by others. One of the key aspects of living for yourself is learning to set boundaries. Boundaries are a way of protecting your energy, your time, and your emotional health. When you set clear boundaries, you stop allowing others to dictate how you should spend your time, how you should feel, or what you should prioritize. This doesn't mean being disrespectful or unkind. It means you're valuing yourself enough to say no when something doesn't serve your well-being. Setting boundaries allows you to preserve your energy for the things and people that truly matter to you, ensuring that you remain grounded in your own needs and desires. Living for yourself also involves the freedom to make mistakes and learn from them. Society often creates pressure to be perfect, to avoid failure, and to constantly meet certain standards. However, when you live for yourself, you understand that mistakes are an inevitable and valuable part of the learning process. You give yourself permission to fail and to use those failures as stepping stones for growth. Living authentically means embracing imperfections, recognizing that no one has it all figured out, and that each experience, whether it results in success or failure, adds to your personal development. Another critical component of living for yourself is the ability to make decisions based on your own desires rather than the expectations of others. This might mean pursuing a career or passion that feels right to you, even if it's not the most conventional or lucrative choice. It could involve relationships that bring you joy and fulfillment rather than staying in situations that don't honor who you truly are. When you live for yourself, you stop making choices based on fear of judgment or the desire for approval, and instead make decisions that align with your deeper sense of purpose and happiness. This kind of life requires self-acceptance. It means loving yourself and appreciating who you are, flaws and all. It's about letting go of the need for external validation, knowing that you are enough just as you are. When you live for yourself, you accept that not everyone will understand or support your choices, and that's okay. What matters is that you are living in a way that feels true to you. Self-acceptance allows you to embrace your individuality, honor your values, and create a life that reflects your authentic self rather than trying to fit into someone else's mold. Living for yourself also encourages you to pursue your passions and dreams with vigor. Many people suppress their deepest desires because they fear rejection or they believe they're impractical. However, living for yourself means giving yourself permission to follow those dreams, regardless of how unlikely or unconventional they may seem. It's about taking the risk necessary to explore what excites and inspires you, rather than settling for a life that doesn't feel fulfilling. Pursuing your passions brings a sense of meaning and purpose that no external validation or material success can provide. Moreover, living for yourself allows you to create a life that's aligned with your values. It's not about chasing after what others have or conforming to societal standards of success. Instead, it's about defining success on your own terms and making decisions that reflect your personal beliefs and priorities. Whether it's how you spend your time, who you spend it with, or the work you do, living for yourself means making choices that align with what matters most to you. Ultimately, living for yourself means taking ownership of your own happiness and creating a life that is uniquely yours. It's about being true to your values, pursuing your passions, setting boundaries, and accepting yourself as you are. This way of living doesn't depend on external circumstances, the approval of others, or societal expectations. It is a journey of self-discovery, authenticity, and courage. By living for yourself, you free yourself from the constraints of others' opinions and live a life that is rich with meaning, fulfillment, and personal satisfaction.